Oh, hi. This week, can I keep saying this week? Because it's 2 a week. Today, we're gonna do a pocket swap. So here's the deal, right? I've always been a hoodie, like zip up hoodie person. I lived in them for, I don't know, ever. And then I got into the cardigan game, even though it made me look like Liz Lemon and Mr. Rogers had a baby, which isn't like the worst thing in the world. I fucking love Liz Lemon. But I didn't think I was a cardigan person. And then I just forced it to happen. And now I fucking love cardigans. And I got away from hoodies. But one thing I have never really gotten into until I bought this sweatshirt was pullovers. I don't know, maybe because I have little to no hair and I've been putting it up a lot lately, I was okay with having something like go over my head. And this one in particular has a cowl neck. I definitely wore this yesterday and I got mac and cheese on it. P.S. I desperately want to try the mac and cheese from the Baby Got Mac food truck that's currently on the Great Food Truck Race. I think that's what the show's called. On Food Network. They're currently filming a season. All the trucks look great, but I am very much team mac and cheese. So if you want to like follow the Baby Got Mac stuff, and if they come to your area, go and get some so I can live vicariously through you. They were in Myrtle Beach and then they went to someplace like Hilton Head in Florida, I believe. So one's a beach and one's like an island. So part of me hopes whatever theme they're going with, they come to Cape Cod. All I want is mac and cheese off of that food truck. I'll link to the Instagram and Twitter down below and then just like get some on my behalf, pretty please. Anyways, back to the thing I'm working on. A non-cheese covered thing, but something that has a fucking stain on it. It's from Goodwill, it happens. I didn't notice it till after I had purchased it. It's workable. So I got this pullover hooded hoodie. It's still a hoodie. I don't know what about not having a zip up makes me think it's not a hoodie, but it is. It has a hood. It's actually like a cowl neck hood, which I'm extra into. But the problem with this guy is that big stain right on the kangaroo pocket. Kangaroo pocket is the word I just said. Christ, I mumble a lot. We're gonna hit 2 birds with 1 stone with this. 1, we're gonna cover up that stain so people think I'm slightly less of an animal than I actually am. And 2, we're gonna zhuzh it up. I've had this scarf. It's like a woolly, I don't know, winter scarf. It's not super long. This is the kind of scarf I do not like to wear because it's short and you can only wrap it around once and it's always falling down. But I thought this and this matched pretty well. Man, I guess I'm like real into jewel tones now. Yeah, I think the grays work together. There are a couple options with doing this. I could make like a whole brand new pocket piece. This is pretty thin though, so I would need to maybe put some interfacing and then find a nice soft lining. Because this one has this really nice inside to it, it also has this elastic on the edge, so it kind of like hugs you a little bit. When you get your grubby little mitts in there, I'm gonna take this one off, cover it with this, and then we'll have a clean looking, jazzed up pullover hoodie. What do you think? Oh no, I did the thing, y'all. I've had a lot of comments this past like year or 2 saying I remind people of Christine. I didn't know what the fuck that meant until my niece and nephew were like, we're homosexuals! And I started watching some of Simply Nailogical's videos and I feel like we would get along very well if we ever met in person. I really like her sense of humor, at least from what I've seen. Much like with me, when there are like younger people watching my videos, I kind of get confused why it happens, and that seems to be her reaction, being like, why are so many children here? Anyway, okay, back on track. Man, I am doing all the side tangents. I guess this happens in every video though. I'm just more aware of it today for some reason. I'm full of all the coffee. I'm excited to like get this project done and knock out a bunch of other shit and kind of like catch up on my creative things. All right, enough blathering. Let's start getting this pocket off of here. So here's what you need. Some kind of garment with a kangaroo pocket. You can add one to a pullover that exists already if it doesn't have its own kangaroo pocket. It's basically a rectangle shape that just has curved bits for the pockets. Also gonna need some kind of accent fabric. Make it as loud as you want and like a focal piece, or make it match exactly if you want. Just depends on what kind of vibe you're feeling from it. And then a matching thread and a sewing machine. Oh, Scissors are good. And also a handy dandy little seam ripper. Not so little. This one's very big, actually. All right, let's get to picking. I have to say, I find seam ripping very therapeutic, which this is a thick knit, so I don't think the seams are gonna show. So even if I keep the pocket the same size and just move it up a bit, I don't think it's gonna be noticeable, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I'm just getting my seam ripper and making sure I'm not pulling any of the threads that are on the pocket, nor the garment itself. Getting all those little bits, and ooh, good, thankfully, there's a whole bunch of lint from this because this person must have just stuck 1,000 gum wrappers in their pocket. So as far as finding the placement again as to where the pocket went on the hoodie, that won't be a problem. So brainstorming is happening, and I think I have my plan of attack for how to attach the accent fabric. Don't you love how I kind of have like half the idea together and don't actually think all the steps through until I'm in it and you guys are watching along with me, because I'm clearly very good at planning things out ahead of time. It's nice when things succeed and it's a surprise, but also, you know, you get to fail with me when things aren't going well. Okay, our pocket is off. We get the nice fuzzy inside. Oh, I'm so glad I have a way to keep this on here. Apologies if you are super grossed out by this project, but it's just part of getting things secondhand. You never know what you're gonna find in there. Because this is gonna get sewn over, I am going to just take a balled up piece of tape and get the lint off of the pocket. Ta-da! All right, for the next step, I'm going to lay this out and center the pocket over, kind of decide what parts of the plaid I want. I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna keep it a little bit bigger just so I'm not fucking myself over for seam allowance, and like I can trim it after. Oh yeah, that's a good angle. Is this helping you see what I'm doing? Both sides of the scarf are basically the same. Is it the same? Am I being an insane person? Yeah, it's the same. Okay, cool. Back to where I was. So because this, yes, will be the inside of the pocket, it's still going to be the outer fabric for this step. This is the right side. I'm treating this like the right side of this fabric, though it doesn't fucking matter. But whatever you're using probably will matter. So keep that in mind. We're going to do right sides together. So when I flip this out, this will be on the outside, and then this fuzzy bit will also be on the outside. Because I have a plaid and I want it to look straight and even and everything, I'm gonna pin in place and I'm gonna stitch around everything, but leaving a little gap somewhere, probably on the bottom, I guess, so I can flip everything right side out. Cool? Cool. So there's almost no stretch to this, so I'm gonna use a straight stitch, but if you have really stretchy fabric, like it's t-shirt material or something, maybe use a zigzag stitch, just so if you like put your hands in the pocket and put any like strain on it, it doesn't snap the stitches. All right, I'm just gonna do a line of sewing. I'll probably go in 1/4 of an inch or so. And of course my bobbin ran out right as I was sewing the thing. Okay, I sewed it, even though my machine got very mad at me in the middle of me working on it there. The needle just straight came out. It didn't break. Now it's flipping stuff out time! It's happening! We got the thing. It's flipped out. And I am digging it so far. So this is the part that's going to be on the outside. Because I don't think this is gonna iron particularly well, I'm gonna top stitch. I also need to close up this gap. You just gotta fold the edges in and then sew over it. Because this has the rib knit thing over here, so it's a different texture than the rest of this, I may do a stitching line along here, which will show on the outside, but it'll be like a nice edging or whatever. Play around with it, have fun. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm just showing you how I'm doing the thing. Words. And when I'm top stitching, I'm getting pretty close. It's like 1/8 of an inch in from the edge of the fabric, and I'm just like pushing the seam out as I go and feeding it through. So stitching like right along here. It's not quite tall enough to line up at the original bottom. I'm still going to use that as a guideline, and I'm just going to shimmy this up and make sure it's covering the stain. Get everything nice and even. The lint off of this top, since I don't need to use that as a guide. Welcome to Sewing Nerd, where you learn the grossest crafting techniques, such as using old lint lines as stitching guides. I'm gonna keep this bottom one until I get everything finished. I'm going to pin in a couple spots here. Thank you again for these dope pins, Jeanette. All right, we've got our baby pinned together. And get this out of the way. And now I'm gonna stitch along the top, catch these bottom corners and across the bottom, but keep these little hand openings open, or else they wouldn't be openings, they'd be closings. I am trying to follow the line of stitching from where I top stitched the pocket down, just so there's not multiple rows visible. Keep an eye on your layers underneath to make sure nothing's getting caught. And I think we're done. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Yes, yes, yes. Just gotta snip my threads. All right, I'm just gonna clean up a little bit of lint happening. Also, for anyone like super skeeved out by me touching the pocket lint and stuff, like I washed this after I got it from the thrift store. I haven't made anything just for me in a while. Well, that's not true. I did just make those shorts, but I very badly needed shorts because I was down to 2 pairs, one that was falling apart and the second one wasn't flattering. I didn't feel good wearing them, so it was kind of an essential, where this felt like a little bit of a frivolous purchase because I have hoodies with zips and I also have a pullover sweater with a cowl neck, so I didn't necessarily need this, but it's really comfy. It feels very luxurious. It was like $5 or $6 at the thrift store. It's a really nice color. I like just having neutral things. And I love how this pocket looks now. I'm so excited. I think I'm also extra excited about this because I'm gonna wear it probably today or tomorrow. Like it's gonna get immediate use where I have to wait on the shorts, so it doesn't feel as exciting. I don't know if that happens to you guys where you like buy something for a different season. I don't know. I live in New England, so you kind of have to have a whole separate wardrobe for different parts of the year. We're still in territory where I can wear this, and I'm so in love with the plaid I picked. And I think I did a pretty good job centering everything. Like, it looks pretty even. Okay, enough chatting. Let's try this baby on. Oh, I put lipstick on. This is gonna be a mess. It's not the taking off that usually messes things up for me. It's the putting on. Oh, it's so cushy and warm. And the sleeves are long enough for me. That's mostly what I was looking at, like the torso length and the sleeve length. When I bought it is why I didn't notice the stain. Oh, glasses off. I'm going in. All right. This is what I meant earlier about, like, I always have my hair up these days because it always gets messed up when I do pullovers. That's where I was going with that. I don't think I explained that part. Oh, I'm never taking this off. Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, yes. Into it so hard. Oh, it looks nice and even. It's so nice and fuzzy inside. I'm so glad that that's on the inside of the pockets now too. I am so happy with how this came out, and I'm glad I did that extra bit of stitching so it's opening in a way I want it to. So you're not really seeing this edge, but it's giving it some space. Fall me is gonna just be so happy because I get to layer tights and leggings under the shorts I made. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link to the video at the end of this one. And I'll have hoodies like this, and I'm gonna be in heaven. I'm in heaven currently because it's still that weather where I get to layer. I love layering things. Summer's the devil, but I'm more prepared for it with all those shorts I got. And then if I'm sitting around a campfire, I can pull this baby on and be cozy and chic. Hoo boy. Anyway, I'm gonna end this here. I'm gonna edit this as quickly as possible and get this out to you hopefully around lunchtime. You'll know better than me because you'll be watching it whenever it's up. Current me has no idea what time it'll be up, but I'm hoping by like 1 p.m. Fingers crossed. If you would like to come hang out over on my Patreon, where I post pictures of projects and videos early sometimes, and I do exclusive videos just for that. There's a Q&A. There's a couple Q&As. P.S. If you have any questions or topics you want me to answer or discuss in the April Q&A, you can ask them here if you're part of the Patreon, or ask it over on the Patreon page. I'll make a little post about it. I know we're not even a third of the way through the month, but I get a plan for things. If you don't want to deal with a recurring payment type thing like Patreon, I do have a Ko-fi coffee page. I'm always forever gonna say it both ways just to cover my bases. Also, don't feel obligated to financially support my shit. You can just, subscribe if you want. Comment your favorite hoodie that you wear. I feel like everyone has their like go-to comfort hoodie. Like when they're not feeling great, they just zip it on and kind of cocoon into their couch. I have two. One is super thick, and that's my fuck everything else, it's cold, I'm gonna hide inside hoodie. And then I have one that I keep in my truck at all times just in case I'm at someone's house and we end up sitting outside or something. I feel like I accidentally end up at campfires a lot, which is great. I love that smell. I love having that smell on me, and that usually means s'mores are happening, so it's a win-win for everybody. And yeah, I'll see you all with a new video on Saturday. Thanks for hanging out! What is happening?